That's what I'm realizing is all I've ever wanted is people's time, and that is the thing that seems to elude me the most. Hi y'all, as I boot my car up, I'm just gonna have y'all drive with me. It's been a day. It's been a day, it's been a week, it's been a month. Okay, I saw a lot of people saying that January felt like a year and February felt like 2 days, which is very accurate. All of the Aries things are happening. We're just gonna go for a little drive. We're just gonna go for a little chat. I have a lot to chat about, unfortunately. The first thing I will say is I want everyone right now, as you're watching this video, to go and tell the people that you love them. I don't care where you are. I don't care what time of day it is. I want you to do it. One of my best friends got injured, and I'm not gonna like divulge his information because I don't think it's necessary, nor is it, it's not necessary to the plot, but it was a really scary situation. It just made me take pause and realize how fleeting life is. Maybe you don't realize that a lot. I feel like I realize it a lot, especially just thinking about getting older. Like, I'm turning 30 this year, y'all, and it's kind of not giving. No, it is giving. Honestly, I'm thankful to even be able to make it to 30, but it's just kind of scary thinking about your mortality on like a real level. I just feel like I've been faced with my mortality a lot more than I'd like to admit lately. I've always felt very alone. I'm an only child, especially in the last 5 years of my life. I have lived alone in some capacity, which has been incredible and amazing. But I think particularly when I was living in New York, it just you really be feeling lonely. You're gonna get like 7 different angles from this video, which is fine. It's really easy when you're in New York City to just go out. Like, you're feeling lonely, cool, go out to the bar, meet someone new, cool, go to your coffee shop, like be around other humans. But there is still the pervasive feeling of like loneliness that kind of sets in, and it starts to make you feel like you're invisible, as though you're just kind of floating around all of these human beings living their lives while you're just an observer. And I think I've been feeling that way a lot recently, especially just while I've been out seeing people with their friend groups, people that they've known for years, people that they've met in these new cities that they moved to, that they've created traditions with. Really being able to see and feel the strength of everyone's bonds with one another, and having it be multiple people, groups of 4, groups of 5, where in my life that doesn't exist all in one place. It does, but it's very hard to get all of my friends together in a way that feels like a group activity. And that's something that I'm grappling with, something that I do wish I had more of. I just miss that. I want that. Wish that I had a group of people, a group of friends, that we could like do Galentine's together, and we could do group dinners and people would actually come. I'm not even talking about things that cost money, because I know everybody's argument is always like, that's cute, but like you're doing shit that costs money. No, I'm not even talking about shit that costs money. I'm talking about sitting in the fucking park and hanging out. I'll bring a picnic. No one has to buy anything, and just hanging out. That's what I'm realizing is all I've ever wanted is people's time, and that is the thing that seems to elude me the most. And that goes from the beginning of my life, from my childhood, from my parents' time, to even my certain family members' time, my friends. People get that confused, or maybe they don't want to spend time, or maybe they don't have the time to give. Time is also a resource, and I understand that, and so want to be cognizant of that as well. But it just hurts sometimes when you know that all you want really is the company of others, and you can't even get that. I do have some friends in my life that I love dearly that are always down to give me their time. I have certain friends in New York always down for that. I have friends around the country that are always down to give me a call or devote some time to talking or catching up or hanging out whatever. I think that romanticized idea of it just eludes me a lot. Having the friend group with the group chat where y'all get together all the time. I have had some of these things in the past, but those groups of people ended up being predatory or betraying me in some way, or just us not aligning, because as we all know, seasons change and so do I, right? Things change, people change. What a beautiful thing that people do change, and we all have the potential to change, and we will all change throughout our lives. And I'm glad that the people in my life that I don't align with anymore, I'm glad they're not in it. Period. For a while, that point didn't get through my head. Tate, you can have as many people around you as you want, but if they're not actually people that value you as a human being and that you align with, it doesn't matter. Most of them could just be wanting you around for their own ulterior motives, you know? But I definitely mourn that. I mourn the life that I could have built if I had just moved to New York in 2017 and stayed through to right now. What a community I would have. And to be fair, I was in New York for most of that time. 2017 through 2020 was a lot of transitions for me, because I went from working a retail job to getting my first big girl job. And at my first big girl job, there wasn't anyone in my age bracket really that I could be friends with. There was one girl that I still kind of am in touch with, which is dope. Even then, she moved on to her own career aspirations, and like she has her own group of friends. I didn't really put in as much effort to stay connected with her, and it's on me. That's my fault. But then once I started working at my second big girl job, I was traveling all the time. So I was out of town most of the time. I was in different cities. I was missing my friends' events that they were having in the city because I wasn't home. And that also affected me making friends, because I was never in one place. Like quite literally, I was transitory from 2018 to 2020. Then the pandemic hit, and then I made all of these friends online, but all of them lived all around the fucking globe. There was a lot of, I love y'all and this is dope, we're doing this virtually and we're connecting, and one of my closest friends, but I don't get to hang out with them in person. I can't go to their house and chill or make music in person or go out to shows together. That sucks, you know? It sucks to not be able to do that with friends that you love so dearly. And then during the pandemic, I moved to Austin. And then I will say, shout out to all my Austin friends, because they are incredible people and I love them. And that was actually the first time I had a legitimate friend group. A group of people that we would go out, we would text the group chat, we would be like, who wants to hang out tonight? And I miss that so much. I miss my Austin friends so bad, and I don't think any of them watch any of my videos, but if y'all do, I just want y'all to know that I love y'all so much. And that era of my life, although tumultuous, an incredible era for friendship. I met friends that are some of my closest friends now: Norma, Charlotte, Alex, so many amazing humans that literally shaped my life in that era and continue to shape my life. Then after that, I was missing the East Coast because I really didn't like Texas, and I definitely wasn't supposed to stay there. So then I moved back to New York. I moved back to New York in 2022, and I spent the first year dealing with a fuck ton of issues. I moved 3 times, dealt with a subletter from literal hell, had to make new friends and cultivate new relationships and figure out what my life in New York looked like as a girl who had never lived alone in New York before. Before then, I had always had roommates in the city, and it's a different experience to live alone in New York. So liberating and freeing and incredible, but it's also very lonely. And I also, in typical me fashion, got into situationships I shouldn't have been in, which just further isolated me because it just made me feel like nobody literally wants me. Coming out of those, I was in what I would now consider to be a pretty codependent friendship with someone who ended up betraying me in the end also, which was like great. Ended up betraying me for a man also, which is kind of insane. But also you learn. You live and you learn, you know? In the wake of that, I was trying to figure out where my place was. spaces, and I was joining new communities in the city. Finally had my coffee shop, had my regular restaurants I would go to because I used to go on solo dates. Now I know all the bartenders at those restaurants and the hosts, the luncheonette on my corner. Just as all of those things came together, just as I was finding those spaces and feeling like I was reinventing myself, I left. I dropped it all and I left, and I went abroad for 3 months. And then I catapulted myself right back into the same dilemma. Then I became a global citizen, and the globe was my community. I navigated through Spain and met people there. Like, that was beautiful and that was amazing. And I think I leaned on a lot of my friends that I made in like circa 2020, all of my online friends, because obviously like your online friends are your friends forever. And those friendships last. I feel like those friendships are so durable in part because you've made them on the foundation of distance already. So it's nothing that can break that. Unless you have an actual falling out with those people, distance isn't going to change anything. Even if you don't talk every day, that doesn't change things because you already know what it's giving. I leaned on them a lot. Coming back, I feel like I cultivated more of those friendships as well. But now being in the in-between of Maryland, of the DMV, and New York, it's just like, how do I even begin to find that community? That's the thing I'm yearning for the most. And I am in the least conducive spot in my life to facilitate that. Part of me is like, I want to settle down so bad, which is insane for me to say, because if you know me, I mean, look back at my channel. Look at how many times I've moved. Look at all the places that I go. Look at how many times I travel. I'm a girl that can't be pinned down. The fact that I'm at a place where I'm ready to settle is big. It's a bit unfortunate that, of course, I would be in that energy now after I severed all ties to make that possible last year. So now I'm just in a weird limbo. I'm also facing all of the intensity of what my country is going through right now and wondering if I even have a future here at all. Wondering if it's even safe here at all. And that is even more of a dilemma that shakes everything up. Because, okay, if I can't stay in this country, where am I gonna go? And then how do I make that community wherever I go? And what does the language barrier look like? And what does establishing myself and settling in another country even look like? Can I even settle in another country? Like, I have to get citizenship. What is that gonna look like? It's hard to even know what type of global domestic situation I'm gonna be looking at in the near and far future. And I guess I'm starting to realize that that is the point of life. We literally don't have any clue what's gonna happen. Something could happen wherever you are, whenever you are in life, and you will have tried to plan so hard to avoid that. It still is gonna give that, and it is what it is. How do I mitigate my fear and my worry and my desire to make the right decision with just making a decision and just following my heart and figuring it out later? Maybe not figuring it out. Maybe just doing whatever to get by and being okay with knowing that the decisions that I made were the best that I could have done in that moment, and that's it. It's hard to think that way though, particularly me. I am very Saturnian, very weighing the best outcome and proceeding with caution and figuring out what my next move is. And my life currently is the antithesis of that. Is like burn it all, break it all down. And that is hard for me. It's been hard for me to live in that. And I'm about to turn 30. So I'm just like, it's even more pressure of like, what am I doing? Where do I want to be? I am starting to get to the point where I realize that, yes, of course, there are arbitrarily right and wrong decisions, but at the end of the day, I'm very close to just making a decision that feels good for me within reason. Like, I left the country, and when I came back, the gag of it all was that I realized that if I was going to stay in America, the only place I want to be is New York City. And then I was like, of course, the only place you want to be is like the most expensive city in this country. Great, good. Okay, cool. I would love living outside of the country, But also, like, part of me wants a home base here. Honestly, I do. I have, my entire family is here. My entire life is here. And I know that it's scary to get up and build a new one. And I don't fear that. It's not the fear that's standing in the way. Why run from that? If all I'm looking for, if the very thing that I want the most is community, and I'm running from it, what sense does that make? I made a short that I think I might have posted on here, but I posted on TikTok for sure. And it basically was like, I don't know what I'm doing, where I'm going. I have no 5-year, 10-year, 1-year plan. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm just out here minding my business, trying to do my best. That is the crux of my life right now. I'm taking every day as it is. I'm asking, not even just hoping, but I'm asking for clarity. I'm asking for guidance to build a home that will sustain me and sustain my loved ones and will make me feel safe, and that I can settle in for the next 5 years, hopefully. I have never lived in an apartment for longer than 2 years, y'all. Every apartment I've lived in, it's been like a year max. I hope I find my way. And I hope if you are like me and you're in transit and you don't know what's going on, or if you do and you're trying to find some sense of clarity, I hope you find it soon. I really have learned in this last year to be like water, to really go with a flow and not even being able to see in front of you. Just going with it and trusting that everything is going to work out. Now I'm trying to be a little bit more like fire. I'm trying to initiate. I'm trying to be active. I'm trying to action on things. Make plans that are smart, but also strategic. I'm trying to be more strategic. I am a strategist. That's who I am. But even more so. And burn brighter. Be okay with being seen, with talking to people, doing things. I think I'm about to pull on up to the pole studio. Like I said, in my quest to be more like fire, I am getting back on my exercise-ish, which is lit. That's the real tea. Is anyone else feeling like this? Are you someone that's nomadic, that's been going back and forth, moving a lot, and you feel like you don't have a place? Because if so, please drop some comments on like what you've done to feel better about the fact that you don't have a place. That's all I got for y'all today. Thank you for driving with me to Pole. I love y'all. This was a little kiki, a little chit chat. I'm glad you were able to come on the drive with me. You showed up for me. So thank you for showing up. It means a lot. I'll talk to y'all soon.